Emotional core therapy is scientifically proven to be the most effective psychological approach available worldwide to deal with stress. This includes male stress. Men suffer a great deal of stress throughout life, primarily because they don't naturally relate. So we're going to show you how the emotional core therapy app can help treat men's stress. Why is it able to treat the stress of men? Because it treats the root cause of all stress, which is the emotional arousal of the four emotions: joy, grief, fear, relief. So before we show you how the app works, let's go into a couple features of the apps. The app has a section with my books, which cover my 8 books, which all cover chapters on depression, anxiety, addictions, angers. It has journal articles on topics such as depression, anger addictions, etc. Has a 1 hour training video that teaches how to use the app, walks you through like 10, 20 examples of how to use the 8-step process. Then has a settings section which teaches you how to use the app too. Has a good description of the app and how the app works. The settings section also features the 4 emotions and describes them in detail, which are joy, grief, fear, relief. From the time men are born to the time they die, stress alters the central nervous system. As human beings, we want more joy and relief. We don't want grief and fear. As you see, the symptoms of grief and fear are pretty toxic on the body if they happen long term. So let's go back to the app and show you how the app works. So we start the stress by examining a male patient that is lifting too much on a job. So what is causing you stress today for the man? Male stress of lifting heavy objects at work. Heavy objects at work. At work. It could be any type of stress, but we're going to just examine this one right here. What relationship are you entering or leaving? It's workplace stress for the man. Oftentimes, that's what I see as a therapist, is that men suffer a lot of stress at work. For male. You can talk in the app or write it out. What is the predominant need of someone or something that's causing you stress? This step 2 is crucial to understand. It takes time. The needs of some people or places or things cause people stress. In this example, we're looking at the physical needs that are cause stress. But we can research the internet for more detailed examples. Let's go right now to the internet and watch how we can examine the detailed examples of men's stress. So we go to Google, we research male stress right here, and comes right up. There's a good article on that under recognizing stress symptoms in men. You know, there's a Holmes and Ross scale that rates the stress of people, and from 1 to 300, and it examines how stressed out you are. It's been around for 30, 40 years. I've used it great detail. It's called the Holmes and Ross scale right here. But symptoms of stress right here. What we can do with this app is we can cut and paste all the stress that people face, where they face it, how they face it, etc. It's a wonderful example of how the app works. Symptoms of stress, all that stuff. These are all, you can go into much detail as you want. We can copy this and go right back to the app and cut and paste it right here in the app. So no matter what's going on with you, once you break it down and examine what the needs are that are causing you stress, you can have a better chance of dealing with it. So we put that in there. The next step of the app is what senses are being aroused. Well, the man sees this, touches this, he's lifting heavy objects at work, maybe he hears it. Next step is what emotion is being aroused in this encounter. The key to life for all men from the time they're born to the time they die is to examine bodily stress and release it. We want joy and we want relief. We don't want grief and fear. This app allows you to rate those emotions 1 to 10. So in this example, he listed some heavy objects he threw out his back. He has a 7 out of 10 ratio of stress. So it's important to monitor the body, what symptoms are going on. This app describes some of the symptoms. Grief and fear can cause great bodily stress on human beings, and it's important for men to do this. Women do a much better job of monitoring and identifying their emotions since they're young, talking about it, but men have to do that too. It's kind of a key thing in life that needs to happen. The next stress is step 5. Step 3 and step 5 happen automatically pretty much. So stress goes through your brain to your muscles and tendons, sort of like an echo or alarm. It rings, and causes you stress. The next step is, where do you feel this stress? So we talked about the man, he feels the stress maybe in his lower back. We can use the voice activation system right here or type it out. Let's use the voice activation system. Lower back stress. So we do that, we type it in there. The next thing is, how do you release this stress? Well, talking it out or writing out is a key component. There's many different ways, but let's do that. The app allows you to do that. I'm stressed out today regarding my relationship choice with work, lifting objects. lifting objects. We do that in there. We can talk it out or write it out. Objects. And the emotion I feel is grief. And next step is this app is basically like mindfulness-based cognitive behavior therapy. We're going to get it to a calm state of being, and that's what the 8 step is. There's really only 7 steps to the process, but we constantly reset our emotions by learning to stay calm. So let's do that right now with this 42-second video.
Let your mind relax and daydream. Whatever thoughts come and go in your mind, simply observe them as if from a distance. Notice your breathing. Breathe in through the nose for a count of 3 and out through a count of 6. Feel yourself slowly regaining yourself from the stress of the outside world. When you reach a calm state of being, click on the icon below to end the 8-step process.
So now we're finished with the 8 step. Let's go back to the home section. Before we do, remind folks, you don't have to use the 8 step for very long. You can use it for 10, 20, 30 seconds. You don't have to use it at all. There's really only 7 steps to the process. But the key is to kind of stay calm, and the 8 step helps you do that. When we're calmer, we think better. Remember, the emotions are a navigation into a life. We want more joy and relief. We don't want a lot of grief and fear. What I tell people again is that if you put your hand on the stove and you burn it, you don't do it again. So why would you pick relationships that bring you grief and fear? And this app teaches you autonomy and gives you autonomy over all your decision makings. So we go back to the home section. Now for men, this is a key thing. This app is the most effective in the world for monitoring happiness, which all human beings want. So we can quickly go to something that men like. Let's watch this real quick and do this. Let's start a new ECT relationship. People make hundreds of relationship choices a day, but let's go to something a man likes. What is causing you stress today? Watching football. Stress can be good for people and joyful. So he likes watching football. His favorite team's on. What relationship are you leaving? The relationship is with the TV, watching football. So we put that in there. So let's just do it. Give an example that you can monitor things that are making you happy. The next step is, what is a prominent need or someone or something that's causing you stress? Well, again, it could be emotional. He's right here. He wants to connect with his team, connect with his players, and connect with NFL team. NFL team. This person lives in New England, so he likes the Patriots. We'll put that down there, just for example. The next step is what senses are being aroused. Well, he clearly sees this. Maybe touches the TV, hears it on TV. The next step is what emotion is being aroused. Well, this is he's happy. He's excited about watching the game. So he has maybe a 6 out of 10, 65, 6.5 out of 10. The point here is that you can monitor things that make you happy, and when you know what makes you happy, you go forward more and more. Why is this app so beneficial? There's only 4 emotions in life, and they serve as a navigation tool. Again, we want joy and relief, and we don't want grief and fear. Ultimately, human beings have to learn to pick relationships that bring them joy and relief, and then not choose relationships that bring them grief and fear. It's a big challenge for all of us. The next step is, where do you feel this stress? Well, he's excited, so it goes to his brain, central nervous system, throughout his body. He feels pleasurable, and then he can. Where do you feel this stress? He might feel it in his mind or anywhere in his body. We'll say his mind for now. But the idea is that you can monitor your happiness here too, which is a goal of all humans. How can you release his stress? Well, he's talking with his friends about how the game goes. He's excited about it. So I'm stressed today regarding my relationship choice with football on TV. On TV. You can do this for any type of stress that you're feeling, good or bad. And I'm feeling the authentic emotion of joy. So that's how we do this here. And then this 8 step, we don't have to do this time. Maybe we do it for a couple seconds, but we can then go back to monitor any relationship choice we're choosing. So that's how the app works. Let's go back to the home section again and see that the home section does have links to my books on Amazon, research articles on ResearchGate, my blog, and then my website, emotionalcoretherapy.com. Again, we want to learn to pick healthy relationships and choice in life, and unchoose those that bring us stress. Stress can be grief, fear, or it can be joy and relief. Obviously, they're one of the 4. So again, this can help men learn to pick healthy relationship choices in their life. Thank you, Bob Moylan, psychotherapist.